welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Debbie, aka Keto Nurse, and I'm so excited that you chose to click on my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. So today's video is going to be catered more towards my pre-nursing or nursing students who have that question that a lot of us had while going through nursing school or getting ready for nursing school, and that is, can I or should I work while going through nursing school? So I am going to give you 4 things that you should consider prior to deciding if you should actually hold a job while going through your program. And then I'm going to kind of tell you what I did while I was going through nursing school. So the first thing that you should consider when deciding if you should or can work while going through your nursing program is your obligations and your priorities. So when you're going through nursing school should be your number one obligation. You've worked hard to get into your program. Anybody who gets into nursing school, we didn't just get into it because somebody looked at an application and decided they liked us. Like, we truly worked hard to meet all the requirements, to beat out a competitive application process to get accepted into the program you're currently in. So if that should definitely be your number one priority, is to make sure that you are focused on nursing school. But aside from nursing school, you do have other obligations. That's if you have a husband, that's if you have kids. Those are definitely things that you should consider prior to deciding if you want to work or if you can work while going through nursing school, because you're still going to want to allocate time to your family and to your kids and to doing things that you used to do. You may not be able to do them as often. You definitely want to still have time for your family. You also have to make sure that you have time to work on things like your homework, studying for your chapter or lecture tests. You are also going to have plenty of major care plans to do that pertain to your clinical rotations, and you're also probably going to have projects to do with groups, like group projects or presentations on certain type of disease process. So you will be very busy while going through nursing school. So you just want to make sure that you know what your priorities are and evaluate if you can fit in a job. The second thing that I would ask that you consider, or you should consider before deciding if you can work, is your finances. Like, no 2 nursing students are the same, and we all come with different hurdles and things that we have to go through while going through the program. Some of us, like I said, do have families, we do have husbands, and we maybe have saved and we're able to go through that time without actually having to work. And that's great if you have that. But there are also those students who are the primary breadwinners in their families and they can't afford to not work. So that's another thing to consider when deciding if you should or if you can work while going through nursing school. Some people rearrange things, like they take out student loans and they live off their student loans or certain type of financial aid while going through nursing school. They may downgrade, or they may live with a family member while going through nursing school. So those are all things to consider. The third thing is, what type of job are you trying to get? Are you trying to get a job just to help pay bills? Or are you actually trying to get a job that will help you and get you into the unit in the hospital that you want to be in after you finish nursing school? So I kind of will go back into that a little later why this is important. I just kind of feel like if you're going to work while going through nursing school, that you should work doing something that will help you network and get to where you want to be once you graduate nursing school. So the fourth thing you want to consider is if you should work full-time, part-time, or just a PRN job. That is very important depending on what semester you're in. Sometimes you may have more going on that semester. I know first and second semester are usually easiest semesters because you have your skills lab, you have clinical, and you have lecture. On top of, if you're going through a BSN or ADN program, you may have other classes thrown on top of that. So you want to kind of work where you feel like you can kind of plan it and actually be present in your job as well as be present for your school and make sure you're not overwhelming yourself by working too many hours. So that's another thing to consider is if I do work, how often, how many hours do I want to put in? Do I want to just be PRN to come in once or twice a month? Do I want to be part-time and maybe do 1 or 2 shifts a week? Or do I want to just take on that full load and be able to work my 3 shifts a week or 40 hours a week and also have school on top of that? So those are the 4 things that you should actually consider when deciding if you should work while going through nursing school. So for me personally, I am the primary breadwinner in my family. It's just me and my daughter. And of course, we do live with my mom, or me and my mom live together and share bills. So unfortunately for me, I could not work while going through nursing school because I had my car payments, I had my car insurance. I'm the one who provides the health insurance for me and my daughter. So I had to work while going through nursing school, and I had to just make it work while I was going through nursing school. Not only that, but my daughter actually graduated that May from high school prior to me starting nursing school that fall. So really my only obligations at the time were going to be nursing school and the things that I had to do for nursing school and work. I also already worked in the medical field. So I did work in the medical field as a medical assistant when I first started nursing school, and my manager knew my plans. The doctors that I worked for were very supportive of my nursing school journey. So I did have people who were willing to work with my schedule and allow me to know what my school schedule was and then work my work schedule around that. And that's why I say whenever you are deciding on working while in nursing school is to try to make sure you're doing something that is going to help you. Make sure that you work somewhere that, number one, allows you to network and get to know people who will get you into a position that will benefit you once you have your degree. You want to try to get a job in the unit, at the hospital, or both that you want to be on once you graduate from nursing school. So going back to me being a medical assistant, I did start out nursing school staying in my medical assistant job. Once I got about halfway done with first semester, I decided that I wanted to try to transfer into the hospital and work as a patient care tech. And I did this for the reason of I wanted to get to know the managers. I wanted to network. I wanted to make sure I set myself up into the best position that I could be in once I graduated from school, and make sure that I was looked at and I didn't get lost in all the resumes that they are going to see when you graduate. And when I tell you, the area that I live in is very competitive. We have about 4 community colleges that graduate nursing students. We have, I'm going to say 5 or 6 major universities around here that graduate nursing schools. And then we are a major metroplex area. So we have a lot of people who go off to school and then they come back to their hometown, to the little suburbs around here in my area, and they look for jobs here. So it's very competitive when you get out of nursing school. So it's always good to be around or surround yourself with the people who you want to notice you, the people who you want to talk to, the people who you want to offer you these jobs. If they don't know you, you're just a piece of paper to them. You're just another resume. You're just another competitor who is competing for that particular job. If you have nothing that stands out to them, you're just going to be that person who gets lost in the shuffle. And I'm being very serious when I say this. Even if you cannot work from the time that you start nursing school, I always tell people you want to start to work at least your last about 9 months. 9 to 6 months prior to your graduation, you want to find a job in a hospital and you want to get to know people. Me personally, my transfer into the hospital, I ended up getting into a unit that is a progressive care unit, cardio progressive care unit. I worked there for a year. I started November of 2018, graduated December of 2019. So I was able to network and get to know the managers, the unit directors, the supervisors, just get to know the nurses, and everybody get to know my work ethic. So when it came time for me to actually apply to a position, I did apply because that's the you have to go through the application process. But I also had people who had my back, and my manager reached out to me and asked me, what is it that I want to do once I graduate? Where do I plan on being? Do I plan on staying on the unit that I'm currently a tech on? But she just wanted to know where I wanted to be. And I was very honest with her. I was even honest when I had my interview, and I let her know my top 2 units would be the ED or the ICU. I also grew to love the unit I was currently teching on. All the nurses are great there. We were like a family there. I love the manager. I have nothing bad to say about that unit. It just really was not 100% my passion. So the day after I talked to her about what I wanted to do, I received an email and a formal invite to interview for the emergency department. My supervisor was actually also the ICU manager, was also the manager for our ICU unit, but she wasn't bringing in any additional GNs for the GN program that was starting in January. So she forwarded my resume to the ED. I got a formal invite to interview the following day. I scheduled my interview for the following week, and within 2 weeks, I was being offered a position in the emergency room. You're gonna work and you're gonna stress yourself between school and working. Just make sure that you're doing something that is gonna benefit you in the long run. And that can be PRN, that could be part-time, that could be full-time. And I'm here to tell you that working full-time is definitely doable as long as you don't have a lot of other obligations that are going on outside of school and work. I would say don't try to juggle more than 2 or 3 things while you're going through nursing school. If your family is your second priority and important to you, which it should be, definitely, and you have the ability not to work while going through nursing school, I would say stay home with your family, get through nursing school, get accustomed to thinking the nursing process. And then before you hit your 4th semester, I would say get a job as a tech. That way you know that you're getting your foot in the door. If you don't want to go that route and you want to be that person who just does not think about the job, you just want to make it through nursing school and then you'll think about the nursing job after you graduate, that's perfectly fine too. I had a lot of classmates who they just didn't want to think about it. Like, I'm the person who thinks ahead, and they didn't care. They just wanted to make it through school, then focus on taking their NCLEX, then focus on getting a job. So I hope this video helped answer some of your questions. Like I said, if you would like for me to make a video about a topic or anything, just make sure you comment below, and I will see you for my next video.